Government forces announced intercepting 3 Houthi drones in Ma'rib. Iran-backed Houthis launched drone attack on oil port in Hadramaut. Ta'izz governorate continues to face increasing security turbulences across the country. Welcome to Elementary TV. This is the English news with me, Tasneem Qandil. The government forces announced the interception of 3 Houthi drones in the city of Ma'rib. According to the government forces, the government shot down 3 Houthi attack drones this morning while monitoring military sites in the city. In a major incident of escalation since the truce ended, the Houthi militia has attacked Al Dabba port, east of Mukalla, with 2 drones. Such an attack has sparked worldwide condemnations and confirmed that the rebels have no interest in peace. This report has more.
Yemen's government claimed on Friday that its forces intercepted armed drones fired by Iran-backed Houthi militants on a southern oil facility in Hadramaut province as an oil ship prepared to dock. According to a Yemeni government official, Houthi drones struck the Al Dabba oil terminal in the southern town of Al-Shahr just as the Nissos oil ship was prepared to enter the dock. According to the official, Nissos was due to load 2 million barrels of petroleum from the terminal, and there was no damage to the port or to the ship. Hadramaut's governor, Mabhout bin Madi, confirmed the attack.
On Friday, 21st of October, 2 drone strikes were launched on a Dabba oil terminal. The first strike occurred at 1:05 p.m. and the second one at 2:20 p.m.
There was no immediate reaction from the Houthi officials, but a member of the group, Nasruddin Amir, said on Twitter, "Yemen's resources are for the Yemeni people. Oil revenue should cover the salaries." The incident is the first serious escalation since the Houthis and the government failed to renew a UN-brokered truce earlier this month due to disagreements over the payment of state workers in Houthi-controlled regions. The United Kingdom Maritime Trade Operations confirmed that it was aware of the allegations of an incident near Al-Shahr and that the vessel and the crew were safe. According to Refinitiv data, the KEA oil tanker was traveling within zone of Al Dabba in the Gulf of Aden on Friday. Hans Granberg, the UN Special Envoy, said he will continue to work for an extended and expanded truce between the warring parties, who are both under enormous international pressure to reach an agreement. The truce has mostly succeeded in halting the bloodshed in Yemen, as well as allowing some fuel tankers into the Hodeidah port and some commercial flights from Sana'a, both of which are held by the Houthis.
The UN Special Envoy Hans Granberg condemned the Houthi attack against the vessel at Al Dabba oil terminal in Hadramaut Governorate. Granberg called on the parties to show utmost resistance and double their efforts to expand the truce and lay the groundwork for a permanent ceasefire. He repeated that all parties must abide by their obligations under international humanitarian law to protect civilians and civilian infrastructure. The Minister of Foreign Affairs discussed with the UN and US envoys the repercussions of the Houthi attacks on the oil facilities in Mukalla. Bin Mubarak stressed that these attacks represent a direct attack against the Yemeni people and the economic capabilities. Bin Mubarak also affirmed that the Yemeni government will do everything necessary to ensure the protection of the Yemeni people. The European Union mission strongly condemned the Houthi militia's attack on Al Dabba port and Hadramaut. They affirmed that no lives were lost and the ship was able to leave safely, but the threat to international maritime trade is unacceptable. The Houthi militia attacks on international navigation were considered a violation of the basic principles of the laws of the sea, as they endanger the freedom of navigation through the waterways in the region. The Arab Parliament condemned the attempt by the Houthi militia to target the Al Dabba port and Hadramaut with 2 drones. The Parliament warned and endangered the repercussions such terrorist attacks on the stability and security of the region, calling on the international community to assume its responsibilities to confront such criminal acts that affects global oil markets. The Arab Republic of Egypt condemned the brutal attack carried out by the Houthi militia with 2 drones on oil port of Al Dabba. In a statement by the Ministry of Foreign Affairs, Egypt held the Houthi militia responsible for the current escalation in Yemen and for obstructing efforts to renew the truce. The statement stressed the need for the militia to respond immediately to international and regional efforts to renew the truce. A recent report has revealed that humanitarian aid work has failed, that many war-affected Yemenis struggle to access assistance. This report has more details.
The UN Interagency Humanitarian Evaluation Steering Group concluded that the quality of humanitarian aid was unacceptably low in many areas and that affected populations repeatedly stated that they did not know how to access aid or how to get on lists that led to assistance. Yemenis from all walks of life have been harshly critical of the way international humanitarian aid has been delivered in Yemen. A weak strategy that focuses on short-term solutions, a reluctance to speak out against warring parties' abuse of aid and humanitarian workers, and a lack of sufficient inclusion of Yemeni professionals are all issues in humanitarian aid to Yemen. In addition, all of this criticism points to serious issues that the international humanitarian community must address in order to truly alleviate human suffering in Yemen. Loss of livelihoods as a result of the ongoing conflict has forced millions of Yemenis to rely on humanitarian aid, which is especially significant in a country that had been ranked as the poorest in the Arab world for decades prior to the conflict. Although Yemen has yet to receive all of the funding pledged, international donors have contributed millions of dollars to the UN-led humanitarian response plan since 2015. Yemen's humanitarian situation continues to deteriorate, as more than 2 million Yemeni children under the age of 5 are expected to suffer from acute malnutrition by the end of this year, with nearly 19 million Yemenis experiencing acute food insecurity. In addition, children who are severely malnourished face irreversible damage to their future health and brain development, including stunted growth. Meanwhile, the number of children dropping out of school has risen to more than 2 million. And also 8 million Yemeni women and girls of childbearing age urgently require reproductive health services. According to the World Bank report released in June 2022, between 71 and 78% of Yemen's nearly 30 million people now live in poverty. International humanitarian organizations in Yemen must play a positive role and remain open to learning from local partners, listening to Yemenis' demands, and paying attention to Yemen experts who warn about the harm caused by the international humanitarian aid system, whether intentionally or unintentionally.
The Yemeni Coast Guard said that 2 people died of drowning, and a third was rescued off a coast in Al-Mahra Governorate. The Coast Guard was able to save a civilian from drowning. However, 2 persons died, one of the scene and another one after they arrived at the hospital. The Coast Guard said that the victims were civilians and worked in the field of electricity in a residential city. In Taiz, the staff of Al-Burayhi Hospital carried out a protest to demand paying their salaries, which have been suspended for 6 months. The protesters threatened to escalate if the management continued to refrain from handing over their rights according to the law.
We are the staff of Al-Burayhi Hospital. We demanded the management of the hospital to pay us our suspended salaries. And we've called them previously to do so, but nothing has happened so far. I'm the manager of a cleaning company which works with the hospital. They haven't paid us our payments since last July, and they keep sending us threats to detain us, so we demand them to pay us our dues.
Taiz has witnessed increasing state of security turbulence due to the spread of a number of armed men. This report has more.
No voice is louder than the sound of bullets and the rattle of dying, and hardly a day passes without a tragedy here, or robbery or looting there, due to the state of security chaos. And usually the tragedies are followed by popular demands, and through the protests calling for the arrest of those who disturb the public peace and disturb security.
Yes, we protested yesterday and we also came out today, and we will keep doing this till all armed elements get arrested. Till when we will live amid killing and killers? Till when we will suffer lack of freedom, legitimacy and democracy?
4 explosions with explosive devices took place in less than 1 month in Taiz, distributed equally between the southern countryside and the city center, all of which occurred in one way through explosive devices inside cars, with similarity in the method and execution that killed 4 civilians, including a girl, and wounded 15 others.
This is a piece of evidence that Taiz has become a critical situation through explosions of 4 remnants, and this means that there are some elements who are behind the manufacturing of these explosive devices.
Observers believe that the terrorist bombings in Taiz coincide with the original attempts by the Security Council to classify the Houthi group as a terrorist group, and the attempt of the malicious group to attach terrorism to the liberated areas and complicate the security situation. Whatever the analyses, the entry of explosive devices into the scene is a dangerous development that threatens the lives of civilians, especially as they target overcrowded areas.
Coming next. In Abyan, community initiative starts small projects to alleviate economic hardship.
كل ما نزحنا من نزحة وانهم فوقنا هدموا بيوتنا. نزحت أنا وأنا بنتي بنت 7 أشهر اللي على زوجي. بعدها تمنا من نزح في نزح. وقبل الفريق معرض لنا. صيحنا لزوجي وصار وداه هنا. صار مخيم. وقبل الفريق اللي هنا وأنا وجيعي في الخيمة. وعانني البنات ودني العلاج. ساعدني لما دخلني الشركة. طلع علاج فيتامينات. جاتنا الأمطار. دخلت السيول وأنا والده. دخلت السيل ما دهنت بالسيل له وتحتي وأنا والده. ما قد إلا يومين.
ولا عاد حتى قدرت أشيل عيالي ما بلاتي يا بنت الصغيرة اللي ترضع شليتها وإحنا والله نحن حالتنا حالة وما عاد إلا شلونا من رفعونا لمكان عالي. ووصل اليوم جسنا لنا 3 أيام والله نحن في العرب وجاونا الفريق حقهم حق الاستجابة. والله ما قصروا وقدموا لنا من كل شيء.
Welcome back. Due to economic hardship caused by the war, community initiative in Abyan have started a number of small projects. Such projects aim to help people have an income to provide for their families. This report has more.
Abyan witnessed the establishment of an art festival and an open bazaar that included a variety of things. Many products and offers were included in the bazaar, which represented the best means aimed at introducing and promoting youth products and productive families in a way that enhances their development in rooting these handicrafts and projects as a cultural heritage and sustainable income-generating projects, which the exhibition seemed to admire.
اليوم نحن حضرنا في احتفالنا هذا هو الاحتفال السنوي.
Today we attended this bazaar to celebrate. We have a compost project and a farmland on which we plant mangoes, limes, and pomegranates.
The attendees were impressed and surprised by what they saw of local innovations, including the handicapped segment of people of high determination.
What we witnessed in the bazaar was incredible. Women launching small projects to help themselves financially. The Coordination Council encourages these projects to help people find a source of income.
For the special needs, we always focus on sustainability projects that develop and support the society. These projects include psychotherapy centers, pharmacies, and small projects that the special needs require.
This bazaar reflected the productivity of these families and these young people. The war in Yemen has resulted in a deteriorating economic situation, which forced thousands of people to have their own small projects for a living.
Dozens of citizens staged a protest in front of the oil company to demand payment of the value of the fuel loaded from the militia's checkpoints. The protest called for the need to the payment of the value of the fuel as a legitimate right guaranteed by the Constitution and the law. The protesters confirmed that they had received from the representative of the Houthi oil company bonds indicating the amount of fuel delivered and the specified time and date. Economic experts revealed a decrease in commodity stocks and increase in prices in Yemen, as it imports about 45% of its basic needs, mostly wheat from Russia and Ukraine. Experts said that Yemeni merchants headed to Russia and Ukraine because their prices are lower than any other countries. The experts added that the price with the freight charges reaches $300 per ton, while freight charges are $75 to Sana'a, meaning that the price of a bag of wheat reaches 10,500 riyals. Aden Ports Development Company announced it would activate Zodiac 7.1 system to operate the container terminal in the port of Aden. The Zodiac system will work in the operation of container terminals to make trade operations more smoothly and mark a new era in the ranks of global and advanced ports. Houthis have imposed more repressive acts on the families of university professors in Sana'a. They started a campaign to make those families evacuate their homes in the university camps by force. This report has more.
A viral video documented the Iran-backed Houthi militia as they raided apartment complexes that housed university staff and academics at Sana'a University in order to evict them. The video, which was circulated by activists on social media, documented the moments when Houthi gunmen, wearing military uniforms and accompanied by Houthi female troops or Zainabiyat, stormed the apartment of Ala al-Asbahi, an academic at the community college who refused to vacate her apartment. Academic sources confirmed that the militia is working to evict university professors from their apartments. Even though teaching staff continue to lecture and perform their scientific and academic duties without salaries, the Houthis carried out their campaign under the pretext of the academics not paying rent. The Houthis claim the forced eviction comes in compliance with the judiciary-issued orders, which they egregiously exploited. Since the terrorist Houthi militia's invasion of Sana'a, it has expelled dozens from university housing and exercised various methods of harassment and intimidation against members of the faculty at Sana'a University who face difficult living conditions as a result of the confiscation of their salaries. Houthi militants have a lengthy history of perpetrating heinous abuses against the education sector and its staff in regions under their control. Such violations include the Houthis utilizing school facilities on their territories to incite sedition and sectarianism. Educators who fail to show allegiance to the Iran-backed organization have been marginalized, and private and public schools have been forced to include sectarian programs in their morning radio shows. Mandatory training sessions reflected the Houthis' continued targeting of thousands of teachers in Sana'a and other places under their control. Teachers who refuse to participate in Houthi initiatives are blacklisted by the organization and may be fired or imprisoned. Many educators and intellectuals have declined to participate in the Houthi training programs, condemning the group's ideology. Numerous public school instructors were fired as a result, and they were replaced by unqualified staff members whose only qualification was their open allegiance to the Iran-aligned organization by the Houthis.
Here's a reminder of the main headlines. Government forces announced intercepting 3 Houthi drones in Ma'rib. Iran-backed Houthis launched drone attack on oil port in Hadramaut. Taiz government continues to face increasing security turbulences across the city. This is the end of the news. Thank you for watching.